Masamune-kun's Revenge is a sharp, often cynical take on the typical school romantic comedy, turning the usual boy meets girl story into a calculated mission of psychological warfare. The story's set in a high school where social status is determined almost entirely by how you look. The world operates on a very shallow set of rules. If you're attractive and popular, you're at the top of the food chain. If you aren't, you're essentially invisible. The entire plot is built around a childhood rejection that serves as the myth of the story, setting up a system where the protagonist, Masamune Makabe, spends his entire adolescence trying to manipulate the social order to get back at the person who once hurt him. It is a story about the danger of living for the opinions of others, showing how a world obsessed with looks can trap people in a cycle of insecurity and performance. Masamune is a complex lead because he is a man living a total lie. His trauma stems from being cruelly rejected by Aki Atagaki when they were children, which led him to completely reinvent his body and his personality. His life's work is his dead or love.
Plan, a cold-hearted strategy to make Aki fall for him, only to leave her heartbroken, just like he was. The burden he carries is immense because he is constantly performing a role. He is a fit, handsome and popular student on the outside, but inside, he is still the same scared, insecure boy who was mocked for being overweight. His goal is to find revenge, but in doing so, he has built a prison for himself, sacrificing his true identity to keep up a facade that he is too afraid to drop. Aki Atagaki, the girl he is trying to trick, acts as a mirror to Masamune. She is known as the cruel princess because she heartlessly rejects anyone who tries to get close to her. While it might look like she is just mean, her behaviour is actually a defensive shell. She uses her reputation to keep everyone at a distance, so she never has to be vulnerable. She is just as trapped by her status as Masamune is by his. They are both two sides of the same coin. Masamune uses his looks to manipulate the social game, while Aki uses her social power to reject the game entirely.
Their conflict is fascinating because they are both terrified of being truly seen. The social structure of their school is a brutal environment where everyone is trying to protect their position. The plot keeps moving forward because everyone is playing a game of social chess, using secrets and alliances to climb higher. Masamune's arrival to the school is like a disruptive force, as he is better at playing this game than anyone else. However, the system eventually starts to fight back. The narrative uses these school politics to test Masamune, forcing him to choose between finishing his revenge plan and forming genuine, messy human connections with people who are starting to see through his act. The pacing of the show is very clever, moving from the satisfaction of watching Masamune execute his plans to the confusion he feels when things don't go as expected. The story progresses as he realizes that his revenge plan doesn't account for how complicated people actually are. The tension builds because more characters get involved, each with their own goals, which makes it harder for Masamune to keep his story straight. The story eventually moves towards a climax where the truth about their shared past is revealed, forcing them to realize that their entire vendetta was based on a misunderstanding and their own distorted memories.
Visually, the show uses a very polished and stylish look that helps sell the idea that everyone is performing. The school hallways and classrooms feel like a stage where everyone is putting on a show for their peers. The framing often traps the characters in their own little boxes, showing how isolated they feel despite being surrounded by others. The contrast between how they look in public, vibrant, high contrast and perfect, and how they look when they are alone, softer and more muted, is a great way to show the gap between their public masks and their private pain. The music and sound design are used to highlight the difference between Masamune's public confidence and his internal fear. The soundtrack features sharp electronic beats whenever he is executing a part of his revenge plan, making it feel like he is playing a high-stakes game. When the facade slips, the music changes to softer, more emotional strings. This audio design acts as a subtle guide for the viewer, letting us know exactly when Masamune is being honest and when he is putting on an act. It emphasises how much energy he spends trying to keep his secret. The resolution of the story demands that the characters finally let go of their revenge fantasies.
They have to face the fact that they have been obsessing over a version of the past that didn't even happen the way they remember it. They are forced to grow up and accept that they cannot define themselves by their social status or their grudges. The real growth comes when they decide to be vulnerable with each other, knowing full well that they could be rejected again. It is a powerful moment of maturity that shows that true strength isn't about being untouchable, it is about being brave enough to be seen. In short, Masamune-kun's Revenge is a very smart story about the cost of living for others' approval. It proves that revenge is usually just a way of hurting yourself, and that the only way to move forward is to stop living in the past. Masamune's journey from a vengeful boy to someone who can accept his own flaws is a deeply satisfying arc. It is a show that encourages the audience to think about the masks we wear and why we are so afraid to take them off in front of the people we want to be closest to. To go even further, the series is an excellent critique of our modern obsession with external appearance.
By showing how miserable Masamune and Aki are despite being at the top of the social hierarchy, it reminds us that popularity doesn't equal happiness. It is an intelligent and thought-provoking story that uses the tropes of a school comedy to explore real human insecurities. It isn't just about a guy trying to get back at a girl. It is a story about the courage it takes to stop acting and start living your own life rather than the one society expects of you. Ultimately, Masamune-kun's Revenge is a great example of a story that starts with a simple, petty premise and turns it into something much more grounded. It leaves the viewer feeling satisfied because the characters finally find a sense of purpose that doesn't depend on how they look to others. It is an honest, funny, and emotional journey that reminds us that the best version of ourselves is the one that is honest, even when it is scary. It is a story that stays with you because it touches on something everyone has felt at some point: the desire to hide our imperfections from the world.